Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Iranpour. And here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you have asked us about, and we are looking for solutions. So we want to start here with romance scams. Yeah, we're getting a closer look at some of these, the most popular photos that are being used to catfish lonely singles. Some of them may look familiar. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you on this story. She has more on what to look out for and shares one local man's warning after his images were used to steal money from unsuspecting victims.
Photos used for these scams include people of different ages and genders, even celebrities. Scammers use them to get someone to fall in love and then ask them for money, especially around Valentine's Day. Social Catfish, a company that verifies online identities using reverse search technology, says these are the 100 most catfish photos of 2025, along with a warning. If you're talking to someone online who is using these photos, you're likely involved in a romance scam. It's something Tristan King knows all about.
The very first time I realized my images were being stolen for scams was back in 2018.
The Marine veteran has a large social media presence, working as a mental health advocate and fitness and nutrition coach. He says his images have been used countless times to scam people from all over the world. Some pretend to be him, others make up a different identity.
I've gotten messages from people, sharing how much money they've lost, tens of thousands of dollars. Even some that have lost their homes, their cars. It's been a huge damper on my life, for sure.
Tristan says he and his family have been on the receiving end of threats. He's trying to prevent anyone else from being victimized by watermarking his photos, posting about the scams, and publicly speaking out in news articles and talk shows. Still, they continue, with these scammers now using AI to make their lies even more believable.
I mean, I've had people that have literally said, well, we actually chatted on video chat. Don't you remember? And I'm like, no, because that didn't happen. AI is very good nowadays. Like, people have actually thought that they've talked to me face to face.
I checked with the Federal Trade Commission and found Americans lost $1.14 billion to romance scams in 2023, up from $547 million the year before. California ranked #1 in the nation with 2,024 victims, losing over $100 million. So how can you protect yourself? Social Catfish gave me a list of tips. Perform a reverse image search to verify someone's identity. Never send money to online acquaintances. Insist on video chats to confirm identity. Be cautious of claims involving military service or living abroad. And be wary of individuals who express love or commitment too quickly.
It's just all about being vigilant at this point.
To see the most catfish photos or to find out more about romance scams and how to stop them, go to CBS8.com and click on this story. Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Using so many unsuspecting people's images there. And now we have an update on a story that we've been following very closely. The San Diego Police Department is rejecting new restrictions on its high-speed pursuit policy. A city commission recommended the changes after the death of 2 young boys and the death of a San Diego police officer in separate pursuit crashes. CBS 8's David Gottfredson is working for you and talked with the police chief about why these changes are not being approved.
Well, we feel that sends the wrong message, that fleeing from the police has no consequences.
San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall defended his decision Friday to reject restrictions on SDPD pursuits as recommended by the city's Commission on Police Practices.
There are consequences when you do flee from the police. That is an important point for us to make with this policy, understanding that there are risks involved.
The commission had recommended officers be prohibited from chasing drivers for traffic infractions and misdemeanor crimes, citing the risk to public safety.
Police pursuits are inherently dangerous.
Doug Case is the chair of the city commission. He says 20% of police pursuits result in collisions.
We don't believe that if there is a minor traffic violation or a infraction, that merits putting the public in danger.
Keep passing through for pursuit 32 in Ocean View northbound.
In 2023, 2 young boys were killed on a 805 off-ramp during a San Diego police chase in Mountain View that began because the driver's car was missing a headlight.
If these policies had been in place, that pursuit would not have started
right?
Anytime there's a loss of life related to a vehicle pursuit is a very tragic moment. It's important to note that 0.2% of our pursuits ended in fatality over the last 5 years. We have policies and procedures in place, and we provide training for our police officers so that we can mitigate the risks of these pursuits.
The current SDPD policy allows a supervisor to call off a pursuit if it gets too dangerous. As happened last year, seconds before a 16-year-old driver without a valid license crashed and killed a San Diego police officer in Claremont. Community activist Tasha Williamson.
Pursuits are dangerous. And if we are talking about public safety for officers and the public, then we need to address the pursuit policy. We need to make changes so that we save lives.
In a memo to the commission, Chief Wall said he would consider a recommendation that he create a vehicle pursuit review board.
The Chief of Police is set to appear before the Commission on Police Practices, where he will be questioned further about his rejection of these recommendations. That meeting is set for February 19th. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Something we will certainly stay on top of and bring you any developments. If you plan to travel in the U.S. by plane this summer, you may need to upgrade your California driver's license to meet new federal requirements. So get your license out and see if it meets these requirements. The deadline to get your real ID is just 3 months away on May 7th. Here's what you need to get a real ID, which in California is identified by a star in the bear symbol right there on your license. See if you have that. First, you need one proof of identity. That can be a passport or your birth certificate. Also, one proof of your Social Security number card or your W-2, and 2 proofs of residency. That can be your cell phone bill, bank statements, or vehicle registration. So you can upload all of those documents online. If you do that at realid.dmv, that can cut your in-person appointment to the DMV down to just 8 minutes. Yeah, you don't have to spend hours at the DMV. Upload it all first. Your real ID should then arrive in 2 to 4 weeks. Mayor Todd Gloria's big idea to tackle homelessness is now dead. A proposed mega shelter in San Diego's Middletown faced significant opposition and has officially been called off. CBS 8's Esmeralda Perez shares what other options could be considered.
This building here along Kettner Boulevard and Vine Streets was the proposed site for a homeless shelter, but those plans at this location are no longer in the works. The plan was to turn this site into a 1,000-bed homeless shelter. But today, City of San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria made the announcement in a statement that reads in part, "After a year of negotiations and multiple hearings, we have come to the conclusion that the proposed homeless shelter campus at Kettner and Vine can no longer advance."
We need to do a better job.
For Patty Ducey Brooks, this is well-received news.
We're excited that this is not happening because it's a bad idea, bad deal, and now we want to be excited about the right thing being done for the homeless population.
CBS 8 spoke with Patty last year when a group of people gathered outside the proposed site to oppose the plan.
Obviously, the reasons that we cited before is that it's a very expensive, outrageously expensive idea. Plus, it really wasn't going to help the homeless people the way that it was intended.
San Diego's independent budget analyst released its review in July, which found that it would have cost about $72 million in rent during the lease period. According to the mayor, this site was the most cost-effective option for a permanent shelter program. Gloria's statement also says in part, getting people off the streets and out of the riverbed and canyons is not optional. That is why we are continuing to push forward with real solutions, identifying new sites and taking the necessary action to bring more people indoors. Meantime, District 3 Council member Stephen Whitburn said in a statement in part, "I look forward to a robust discussion on potential shelter options, particularly at the site of the old Central Library. We need real solutions now to address this crisis and provide immediate relief for those in need." Possible new shelter options will be presented soon, including one privately owned property on 2nd Avenue, which the mayor says would require lease negotiations. 2 city-owned properties, the old Central Library and the City Operations Building. And plans for alternative solutions will be presented at the City Council meeting on February 10th. In Middletown, I'm Esmeralda Perez for CBS 8.
Something else we will continue to follow here. Up next, how much of your monthly income is going towards rent? We'll take a closer look at affordable housing in San Diego and show you if you may qualify for it. And are your pets microchipped? What you need to do after a major pet microchip company shut down for good. Pet owners, you're going to want to listen to this. A major pet microchip company has suddenly shut down. If your pet has a Save This Life microchip, it will no longer show up in a database. Working for you, we found what to do to keep your pet protected. If you're unsure where your pet's chip is registered, a vet or a shelter can scan the chip and provide the company name and the microchip number. I don't know what my dog's chip belongs to, so yeah, it's worth checking. If it is a Save This Life microchip, you don't need a new chip, you just need to register it with a new company.
There's the American Animal Hospital Association, there's 24 Pet Watch, there's a number of microchip companies out there that you could register with.
Getting your pet microchipped is a permanent way to identify them, and it allows shelters to contact you if your pet may go missing. Even if your pet is already chipped, it's important to make sure your contact information is up to date, the latest numbers for them to reach you. And now, affordable housing is a term we hear often, and we use it often, but we do want to explain exactly what it means. Whether or not you qualify comes down to how much money you make. It was designed to expand housing options for people across more income levels. CBS 8's Jenny Day is working for you.
The definition of affordable housing is all based on the AMI, the area median income. And for all of San Diego County, that number is $120,000. So for something to be considered affordable, it means that your rent does not cost more than 30% of what you make.
San Diego is an expensive place to live. The average rent is more than $2,000 and the average home price is $952,000. So we often hear we need more affordable housing.
And then these are some jobs like home health care aides, child care workers, janitors and cleaners. You can see the difference between what they make and what it costs to live here.
San Diego statistics show 45% of low-income households with young children are paying more than half of their income on housing costs. And HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, says if what you pay for rent and utilities exceed 30% of your income, it makes it difficult to afford other necessities and therefore pump money into the local economy.
Well-studied fact that people should not spend more than a third of their income on their housing, whether mortgage or rental payment.
To better understand the topic, I took my questions to the city, county, housing commission, and the nonprofit San Diego Housing Federation.
If we don't produce enough of this affordable housing, then we are going to lose people that are essential.
Stephen Russell says affordable housing keeps neighborhoods vital and promotes diversity, and a lack of it is creating employment challenges. He says we need people in entry-level, lower-paying jobs, and they have to have somewhere to live. Russell says renters making minimum wage would need to earn at least 2 times more to afford the average asking rent in the county.
To prepare a hotel room, to be ready for a guest. It's critical to our economy that we have folks who are here able to do those jobs.
Again, for a family of 4, the AMI is $120,000, meaning rent ideally shouldn't exceed $3,000. If your family brings in $75,000 total, that would be 50% of the AMI, and therefore you qualify for rent below market value. And a voucher from the federal government, taxpayers cover the rest. Rent in affordable housing units is based on income to not exceed 30%.
If they go to La Jolla, the rent's going to be like this. 30% of it may be, their 30% may be a small portion. AMI is a way of making sure that there's a fairness built into the system.
Every apartment complex offering affordable housing has its own criteria and accepts applicants who fall between 30 and 80% of the area median income.
We need everyone to be in a safe home. We're committed to working every day to see that becomes a reality.
Cities are required by the state to have a certain number of affordable housing units. San Diego currently has 26,000. Working for you, I'm Jenny Day.
Fascinating to see those numbers there. When it rains here in San Diego, the roads can be challenging for many of us. Coming up, how to make sure your car will get through a wet winter in one piece. For the first time this season, San Diego was hit with a major storm. We got a lot of rain from it. The rain made the roads wet and dangerous for a lot of San Diego drivers. But there are some things we can all do to prepare before the next storm comes. Working for you, CBS 8's Alex Lai shows us why you shouldn't take a rain check on car safety.
It's time to gear up your car for the rain. There's a few key maintenance checks you might not have thought of that can make all the difference on the road. Even in San Diego, collisions spike on the wet roads. So how can you stay safe? Working for you, I spoke with Cam Panahi at Collision Fix, an auto body repair shop in Pacific Beach.
I want to show one other thing.
He showed me a few quick and easy car checks you can do at home in just minutes.
First, check your tires.
He says to make sure a penny can fit between each tread rib and make sure the tire levels are even. If not, bring it to a tire shop.
Tires are good. It's important to have even tire tread. That way, if you have any unsafe conditions in the road, your car won't pull in each direction, and it keeps the maintenance of your tires safe at all times.
Next,
let's go ahead and talk about your brakes. If you notice there are lines in your rotor, which is this circular piece right here, that's a good indication that you have uneven wear on your brakes. It's a good indication to get it checked.
Also get it checked if you feel your car vibrate or squeak when you brake. Here's what a good one looks like, and one that needs to be repaired. And if your windshield wipers sound like this, it's time to get new ones. Same goes for if they skip across your windshield or if you feel texture in the blade. Cam says it's good to do this once a year, and you can do it yourself.
So right now we're releasing the windshield wiper, the old one, and then we're gonna go ahead and replace it with the new part. First we gotta verify they're the same length, and then you just slide it in and it clicks right in.
Last thing to check is your lights.
It's important to check it by turning your headlights on, taillights on, and going to physically check each one.
And don't forget the brake lights too.
Just have a friend jump in, tap on the brakes, and then from the rear you'll be able to see the brake lights work.
If you want to go the extra mile,
just twist it,
top off fluids, and check your battery. With more rain on the way, now's a good time to take a few minutes and check your car so you can stay safe on the roads. Working for you, I'm Alex Lai for CBS 8.
When it rains around San Diego, the sewage crisis in the South Bay often gets worse because of water runoff. Now South Bay residents can get an air purifier from the county for free. They will help filter their homes from harmful odors caused by the pollution. Priority will go to households with children, seniors, and those closest to the Tijuana River Valley. Eligible residents in communities like San Ysidro and Imperial Beach can register online to get a purifier for free. So to find out how to do that, go to our website, cbs8.com. You'll see the link there. That's going to do it for us here. Remember, if there's something you want us to look into, you can always email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next time.